Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Words I Choose to Live By. I'm Cyrus Webb, joined by our co-hosts, Dr. Velma Bagby, Melissa Banks, and Tina Siemens. So glad you all could join us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. Also, welcome those tuning in on Max WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. We're glad that you all can be with us. Going to go ahead and bring in our friends over there on Instagram and those on Amazon as well. We have an exciting message for you guys for today. Hopefully, it is inspiring for you. And we welcome our audience tuning in on the Amazon platform. If you guys are new to us, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button. You see it either here in this corner or down below. You also will see my book, Word That Choose to Live By. We're in week number 10. Have an exciting message, hopefully to be able to encourage you guys as we're going throughout the week. But how's everyone doing today?
Doing great.
Wonderful.
We look so glad you all could be with us. As always, for our audience, if you guys have any questions or comments, hello to you, Insight Magazine. Hello to you, Herschel. Good to be able to see you over there on Instagram. So today's message is this: vows of victory. Vow to speak words of victory, not defeat. And this message, I hope our audience really gets this, because I think it's such an important thing for us to keep in mind, that the power of life and death is in our tongues.
Hmm.
And one thing I have realized, and I have to credit my family for this, is to focus on the things you can do and not so much on the things that you can't. Focus on who you are instead of what people say you are not or cannot do. And I think for us, as we're going throughout now the third month of 2025, it is so easy for us to focus on what we have not done. And I choose to focus on not only what we've done, but also what's in front of us to do. And that's really what I hope people take away from this message. Melissa, though, that's enough about me. I'm going to let you answer the question: how important has it been for you to watch the words you speak to yourself?
Well, you know what? It's been everything for me. If I just sat down and looked at what was in front of me, look at whether it was a success, whatever I tried, if I looked at just my plan and if everything came out just the way I planned it and looked just the way I wanted it to look, I wouldn't get out of bed. I would be stopped in my tracks, because my entire journey has been about what I'm saying to myself. It hasn't been what anybody else is saying to me. It has to be about what you're saying to yourself. I can remember when I was going through a dark season in my life, and all I was hearing was what I was not. All I was hearing was what I didn't do well. That's all I was hearing. So that's what was sowing into me. But when I grew and when I came through that season, I came to realize that it's not about what other people say about me. God says I am a masterpiece. He says that I was created in His image. So I get up every day speaking those words into me, because I promise you, whatever you're saying over and over and over again, that's what you're sowing. So if you're speaking words of defeat, then defeat is what you will have. You cannot pour in defeat and come out victory. But you're responsible. You're responsible for giving it to you. You can't get it from your friend. You can't get it from your mentor. You can't get it from your mama. You have to get it from you. And it's deep down inside of you. And every single thing you need is there. You have to call it. You have to pull it out. You have to decide today: I believe in me, and I believe I have every single thing I need to make my dreams happen.
Such a great point. We weren't going to charge you by the words, Melissa, but I know you got excited there. look, Melissa got animated there. She was like, but it's such a great reminder. Tina, what about for yourself? How important has it been for you to watch the words you speak to yourself?
It is everything. I think if we start our work day in the morning, when you get up, you speak a word of positive affirmation into yourself, and that will just give way to your thought life, having a positive attitude, and that just makes the world of difference. If I have a outlook of I can do this, then I will also have the strength to pursue what is ahead of me for that day. And I always say there is only one day a year that we can do something, and that is today. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow's not here yet. So for me to speak words of affirmation is today. And I choose every day to get up and say, today will be a better. My prayer every morning is, Lord, less of me and more of you. And if you have that attitude, God is going to provide that. And so He brings forth across our path people and situations where we can practice what we're preaching.
Such a great point. I want to give a quick side note here. Hello to you, Claymont Smith, sports agent over there on IG. If you guys are on the Amazon side, you'll notice as the co-hosts are speaking, we're highlighting their books in the carousel. Those are their latest releases. You just saw when it was Melissa that was speaking. Her new Dream by Design book, her affirmation book is there. Also, you just saw Post Oak there for Tina as well. So make sure you guys do grab those books too by our co-host. Dr. Velma, same question to you. How important has it been for you to watch the words you speak to yourself?
First of all, I had to discover what words to speak to myself because when you don't know what to speak to yourself, you're in this place that you talk about where you get defeated. It doesn't matter what you vowed and committed to yourself. You get defeated if you don't speak the right words. So I spent some time discovering the right words to speak over my life. And I love what Tina says, starting your day with prayer and affirmations, and Melissa, what she said as well. Both these women are in my affirmation book with their own perspective as to what you should say over yourself. And Melissa says it regularly. So I'm just saying that you have to discover what those words are. Because if you're speaking the wrong words over your life, the words that don't provide action, the words that does not provide hope or faith or belief in what you have been given to do, then you're not going to go anywhere. So it's
Yeah.
important for us to know that. And I also understand that in Psalms 139, it talks about how God knew us while we were just a mass in our mother's stomach. And He knew our lives already. He knew what He had planned for us, He knew what we were to achieve and accomplish. And so, as I watch each of us do what we've been called to do, as I watch the successes of Tina and her books and Melissa of her recent books, as I watch what's happening with you, Cyrus, then I know that what he had designed when you were just a mass, when we were just a mass in our mother's stomach, are all coming to fruition just as he had planned. But it's because we believe too. We had to embrace those words that will convince us and tell us that this can be possible for us. And we held on to that. No matter what was said to us opposite to what we believed, we held on to what we knew we were to accomplish. And I'm so excited for all of us on this panel.
So true. Thank you so much for that. Tina, I'm going to come back to you because, and Dr. Velma just referenced it. I actually wrote in this message, vow to speak words of victory, not defeat. That really goes to the heart of the importance of mindset. It's so easy, of course, as I mentioned earlier, to focus on what we have not done instead of what we have. How important has it been for you, Tina, to make sure you're giving yourself credit for what you have achieved?
Now that, Cyrus, my friend, is a working process. And I just think that the more you see yourself the way God sees you, then that is becoming an easier pathway to take. Because so I grew up by you can't really brag on yourself like that. Then it that makes you haughty, or it makes you look like you're too prideful. And so for me to realize that God instilled these truths and these uh, gave me these tools that I can accomplish, not because I am so great, but He is working this in me. And so it is something that I'm embracing more and more. And thanks to this panel, I am able to say, I am so grateful for the gifts that God has given me that I can bring to the world.
Love that. Love, we all are a work in progress, I think, but I appreciate you being honest about that because that is a challenge for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Dr. Velma, for you, how important has it been for you to give yourself credit for the victories?
That's a challenge for me. I really am, I feel gracious and I feel accomplished, my mission accomplished when I hear back from the audience I've been called to serve. So when
Mhm.
I hear from them that they resonated with something I've written in my books or something that I said really inspires and helps them, that's what I feel is the most for me. It's not an award. It's not an act. It's not any kind of presentation to me,
Mhm.
just the response from an audience member who read something I wrote or heard something I said, who can say that whatever I said resonated with them. To me, that's the most reward. If I don't give myself a pat on the back, I might give God the glory for helping me achieve what He's set set out for me to do, then
Mhm.
that's what I would do. But for me to say to Velma, you did well, girl. No, that's that's not me. The audience tells me and God tells me, then I'm fine with that.
Got you. Okay. Melissa, what about for yourself? How important has it been for you to give yourself credit for the things you have achieved?
I agree with the other panelists that this is a very difficult place to be, to say, I think I did well, I think I did great. But going back to what Dr. Velma just said, I had one of the biggest experiences this weekend when I finished speaking, and the women that were coming up to me and sharing their journeys and sharing their stories, and how something I just said pushed them. One woman shared with me that she's in the middle of what I was talking about right now and trying to find the courage. And it took the courage of being in that room to
Mhm.
hear me. She came specifically to hear me. That's why she was there. That's the accolades, and that's what means so much to me. I do find myself in places of doubting my work or doubting whether I'm good enough. I go back into that place. But when I hear from the women that I heard from this weekend and they speak life into me, I was there to inspire and encourage them, but they encouraged me so much by sharing what it meant to them just from my words. And I am so grateful for that.
Yeah.
Love that. For those that are just tuning in, welcome. You all are watching or listening to Words I Choose to Live By. Week number 10 from my book by that name. Hello to you, Art Reforum Consulting. Good to be to see you over there on IG. Also see you guys over there on YouTube and X as well. We're simulcasting on social media, but we're primarily here on Amazon Live. And we're talking about, as I mentioned, week number 10 from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Today's message is a simple one: vows of victory. The importance of being able to focus on, what you have done instead of the things that you have not, but also the importance of that mindset as well. So, Dr. Bam, I'm going to go to you. What would you say to our audience about the importance of making sure that they're speaking life to themselves?
Just remember to do that in whatever way you have to do it. Some people have to wear a certain color. Some people have to dress a certain way, fix themselves a certain way in order for them to feel like they can achieve what they have to achieve. And something Tina said resonated with me because I recently wrote about a story of my upbringing where my mother told me to hold my head up unless I had something to be ashamed of. And I remember getting written up on my very first probationary report in my first job, where other coworkers said that I looked haughty, I looked prideful, all because I held my head up just like my mother told me to. So what I had to learn to do was to hold my head a different way, but inside, my head was up, my spirit was up. I was still walking with a sense of confidence, knowing that I have nothing to be ashamed of. And so that's what's important. So, whatever it takes for you to hold on to what you have been given to do, find the words, find the tips. Sometimes I remember one of the speakers, co host, said that they have something posted on the wall. Whatever you need to do to affirm who you are and what you've been called to do, have that in place. So, in those moments of doubt, in those moments where the naysayer says, "Mm-mm, no, that's not you, you're not going to do it," you can go back and reflect on that statement and remember who you are and what you've been called to do.
Love that. Great message there. I appreciate that. Melissa, what about for you? What would you say to our audience about the importance of watching the words they speak over themselves?
Those are the words that matter. So get up every single day speaking life into yourself, saying the affirmations. I know I talk about them often, but they have been a lifesaver for me because I am my biggest critic. I am the person that's down on me. I am the person that I disappoint. So when I say those affirmations, I am enough. I am powerful. I speak to my core. So I get up every single day, and in moments of despair, in moments of disappointment, if you just say those affirmations, whatever your affirmations are that speaks to you, that moves you and gets you right back on focus and believing in yourself. That's what you do. It's about what you say to yourself.
Yeah.
Such a great reminder. Tina, what about for yourself? What would you say to our audience about the importance of the words they speak to themselves?
Well, I love the picture of, in my mind, I often think of a fence post and a turtle on top. That turtle did not get there on its own. And so whatever I do, whatever I've accomplished through God's grace, I had help, whether it was from a fellow citizen or from a brother and sister in Christ or from an amazing panel like y'all, I have had help to get where I can share my message. It has always, that message has always been inside of me, but is now given the tools to share it with the world. And that is just such an amazing place to be. Not only what's happening in West Texas, we're all over the news. Like I said in the beginning, CNN is right here recording this morning. Like, to know your roots and to know that you are confident in who God has made you. And if you have that message, to carry that forth and to give others hope, it is just absolutely such an amazing feeling to know that that is where God has placed you for today.
Such a great thing and such a great reminder for all of us. Again, everyone, week number 10 in my book, Word I Choose to Live By, Vows of Victory, vow to speak words of victory, not defeat. I'll just add that our words have power. And we have to be very careful of the words we choose to speak about ourselves. But I will also add the words we speak to others, because our words can be encouraging, but they can also tear down. And so we want to make sure that we're using that power in a responsible way so that we can make a difference in the lives of others in a good way, and one that will be remembered. Everyone, great panel today, as always. Melissa, let our audience know, how can they stay connected with you?
You can always stay connected to us at one place. That's themelissabanks.com. You can listen to some inspiring stories from the men and women that share with us on our podcast. You can connect with us on all of our social media. It's right there, themelissabanks.com.
All right. And Tina, what about for yourself? How can our audience stay connected with you?
As Tina Siemens on social media, and seminalthebook.com.
Love that. Thank you so much. Dr. Velma, how can our audience stay connected with you?
I'm on all the social media platforms, or most of them, but you can go to my website, drvelmabagby.com, and connect in any way you can. Looking forward to you subscribing and looking forward to hearing from you more.
All right. And we want to remind you guys over on the Amazon side that all of the books by our co-hosts, I think I have 3 though now I have to add for Dr. Velma. She's added 3 more books for us, and make sure that the books are there in the carousel. So make sure you guys look through those there. You can be able to get those for yourselves. For those joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, there's a link that will bring you guys over to Amazon for you guys to be able to get the books for yourself. For those joining us on X, we'll put it in the comment section for you guys. And on Instagram, we'll put it in the stories for you guys. Ladies, great panel as always. Looking forward to next week.
Thank you. It's been wonderful.
And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Word I Choose to Live By. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.